What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of June 8th and June 9th of 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Appreciate you all. Hope everybody had a great week. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you have a great weekend. Let's see what's in store for this weekend. What is the astro weather looking like? Well, we're going to the moon in Cancer for a good chunk, a good majority, day and a half of this weekend, and it is going to be making some big squares this weekend. So it's going to come over and square the north node in the morning. It's going to square the south node. At that same token, it's going to, finish Saturday squaring Chiron. So it's definitely high emotion. It's a moon in Cancer. It's already trying to feel, safe, secure, feel good, kind of chill in a lot of ways, not over, exert itself too much, but it's getting a lot of pressure from these nodes. And the North Node in Aries, it does want to exert. Mars at 29 degrees does want to exert energy. It does want to kind of put energy somewhere. Like it wants to move forward here. So we're having to deal with like moving forward. We're having to deal with like maybe feeling like our emotions and like we just want to chill and be comfortable, but certain things of that nature, but also certain things that we emotionally feel like we want and that we need, and the things we want, like, well, those are in contrast with people. And we're seeing, of course, Venus at 19 degrees, well, exactly square Saturn today on Saturday, and the sun's right behind it squaring Saturn. So there's definitely, I feel like there could be pressured moments from people in our life, whether, of course, romantic relationships, there could be some pressure. Um, a lot of different things, a lot of just outside energy could be trying to kind of pressure you. And it's kind of a lot of the same that we've been talking about, like needing to make decisions for ourselves, needing to do things that we feel good about, especially with the moon in Cancer. And, you know, we can delegate things as necessary, and, we can balance things. It doesn't have to be like all one sided for everybody here, but, you kind of have to put yourself first a little bit. Like, and the moon can kind of regret that with a square to Chiron in Aries. Like, oh, I feel so bad because I let somebody down, or I didn't do what somebody else wanted for their comforts and, what was going to make their life more aesthetically pleasing. So definitely, it's a balancing game. And I think this, Venus square Saturn definitely sets that up perfectly, of like kind of feeling restricted from other, outside energy. Again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship, a work relationship, and, especially with Saturn there, it could be work, pressure on our finances. Definitely, just feeling some pressure, feeling some heaviness and some weight. But the good news about the square is that it does force us to take action for more harmonious relationships, better communication, understanding of our own values and our net worth and our soul worth, and how we want to use, our tools and make things happen, and what we want to work for, and again, who we're committing to at the same time. So one of those days where you could really want to commit because the vibration's right and the path is the same. And, there's a lot of things linking up that do make sense, and there is truth, So not all bad, but definitely, it could feel like a tug of war a little bit between ourselves and others, but it could be anything we have a relationship to outside of ourselves. Keep that in mind. And then, yeah, pretty sensitive. And then we also have Mars and Pluto in their square, so just a lot of desire, and trying to, I think, really express a very unique version of ourselves. And gosh, that could rub people the wrong way too. So it's kind of, it's weird. I feel like it's good. It's not bad. It's just like it's easy for expectations, or, that people can have on other people. It's easy for those to get, shut down, and that's where people could kind of get feelings hurt, because something that we expected out of something other than ourselves, it didn't show up the way we wanted it to. And now there's a, an added pressure because of, like I was talking about with Neptune, disillusionment. We just have to be aware of these things, But Mercury's starting to make really good aspects to the nodes this weekend, and that's definitely very positive for us, especially because the North Node would be, dignified in Aries. So there is like a really, or in Gemini. So there is a really nice reception, I believe, taking place with Mercury in the nodes. So something to keep in mind is our understanding of our truth and our direction is really it provides a lot of comfort. So just our own mind working in accordance and in, step with our physical step and with the feelings that come along, very, very clutch, very crucial for us. As we look at Sunday, the sun's going to square Saturn as Venus separates from the square. And, it just puts a, added pressure. Here we are. Like I talked a lot about Saturn and definitely feeling the weight. Feeling like we need to kind of take on more responsibility, especially if our truth demands it. But also feeling like maybe it's harder to get somewhere or understand something than it needs to be. Some things aren't meant to be understood, and like that can hurt our ego if we don't understand things. We got to kind of figure out some way to keep it slow. And I don't really like Mars in Taurus. It's not my favorite, and it comes in late Saturday night into Sunday morning for people on the East Coast and different parts of this reality, this plane, this Earth. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a globe. Maybe it's flat. I really don't know. Never seen it myself. And I am just in a weird place where I don't trust what other people say. So, anyways, whatever you think it is, I'm cool with that. But it's not my favorite, Mars, right? So it's slow, kind of comes off this, but it's also squaring Pluto, so there's still a lot of desire, and especially for things that we want, that we can touch, we can taste, we can feel. Our actions are better now when we trust the senses, and that goes to our emotions, that goes to our touch, our taste, our smell. We'll move fast for things that are good and quality in our life, but I mean, this gets a little sluggish if it's kind of mundane or it doesn't feel like it's worth it. Which I do think helps us because Saturn, I think, wants us to kind of slow down a little bit and pay attention to the signs from the universe here. So I'm glad that exists, but the moon's also going to square Mars as it comes into Leo on Sunday, and there's this big T square between the moon opposite Pluto and both square Mars. So there's like a ton of pressure on this weak Mars. -4 now, coming off being dignified and with the North Node, but also with Chiron. So it kind of took a little bit of the oomph out of it, but nonetheless. And the moon also trines Neptune, so it brings the sensitivity back into it. But our ability to shine in a unique way, and in a way where we know that we're valuable for being that unique expression of ourselves and showing it, is so positive right now. But we have to use it in positive ways too. Like, we don't want to overpower people. We don't want to take advantage of people. We don't want to be like that, right? We want to be in a very, this is where I would say even like a South Node in Libra, right? Which is getting a really nice sextile from Mercury, and Mercury's trying the North Node. Like, when we're able, again, like I mentioned, to just be ourselves, to do ourselves, and to do it, in the most authentic way forward, and to know that truth about ourselves, it's so much easier to relate with others. It's so much easier to accept others. It's right now, if we are doubting ourselves inwardly, that we're expecting something outside from another, to kind of like come in and be this, like, I don't know, this like innovative moment in our life that changes things for the, for the betterment of the future. And I feel like that's where we feel stuck, especially this weekend, and you can feel so blocked from good things and from good feelings and happiness and joy. And that moon coming into Leo, of course it wants to feel good. It wants to express itself and be happy and laugh and have fun and, do all the things it wants to do. And that's good. And we have to figure out the other people with Aquarius. And we really do have to figure out how to align our path with others. Because others are important. They really are. And, strong alliances and friendships and bonds and relationships are something that we're going to want in the future. So I feel like I get on the South Node all the time. Like, don't, it's not like we can't relate. We're all we were meant to. We just have to be really true to ourselves right now. And I think that's when you see like the work that got put in this weekend, and you can see really positive connection, really fun times, really good laughter, joy. letting other people have the limelight, you having the limelight. Like that's where things can be really balanced and harmonious, and you're still doing it your way, you know? I think that that's where this weekend can be, and especially Sunday, like things can be really, really positive if you're kind of in that mindset. But forcing things upon others, trying to manipulate, people, or feeling like someone's manipulating you, like these are big red flags that we have to deal with, and you're gonna feel so heavy in those moments because of Saturn, and so sensitive because of Neptune and the moon, and so angry because of Mars square the moon and Pluto. So there's a lot of emotions that have to be handled this weekend because there's a possibility that we can get aggroed real quick. And for what? It's sometimes, again, that's where Saturn's saying take responsibility, be responsible about your thoughts and your expression of self and your words, because it's just not about others right now. We don't want to make life about others. We want to merge and be in positive connections with like energy, with like frequencies and vibration. We don't have to, make somebody do anything. And we should not be made to do anything likewise for someone else's own comfort and happiness and joy, and sacrifice our own. So that's why I think this weekend is like, how much are we sacrificing, and are we doing enough of what we want to do? And if it's really out of balance and it's all sacrifice and not enough you, and you being able to express and do and enjoy the way you want to, then it's got to be looked at, you know? Anyways, hope everybody has a great weekend. I don't see why couldn't enjoy this weekend other than, the stuff I just mentioned, but like, again, it's taking charge of your life and your thoughts and your actions, and at that point, you can disconnect and free yourself from energy that's trying to bring you down. Maybe it's just disconnect for a little bit. It doesn't be forever. that square with the moon and Mars and Pluto Mars, that T square, like that, with the Sun Venus and Saturn Venus, like that could feel like this just has to end forever. I hope that's not the case for you guys, for anybody, but it definitely has that like extreme heaviness, especially in relationships. Okay, we got the Two of Hazards, which is the Two of Coins in this zombie tarot deck. Which is funny because I feel like there's always two paths, there's always two choices with the two. It's definitely like, this is like really choosing the path that's going to give you the most value, the best, quality of life, moving the way that you don't mind slowing things down and, feeling life and feeling reality because you're happy, you're comfortable, you're sovereign, Or you're going to feel like you're being walked around by this guy doing some, he's just drinking or whatever, doing some science experiments and got this weird grin on your face, and you're this zombie and you're being walked around by this creep. We don't want to be that creep. We got the Queen of Wands. So that's very good for self-expression, passion, love, happiness, joy, doing a lot of the things that we want to do, and, trying to see if this image just gives me something just cool, and I mean, it's not like anything's really jumping out, but definitely doing ourselves. I mean, do we need to rip our arm off, for something else right now, or should we, use our arms for the things that make us happy and bring us joy? I think that's something to consider this weekend. I love you all. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you all Monday. Much love. Peace.